Motion.
Senator Patterson.
Thank you, Mr Acting Deputy President. Can I thank Senator Lambie for bringing forward this very important motion today? I suspect it has turned out to be more revealing than you intended it to be when you moved it, and what should have been a moment of unity in this chamber has not turned out to be, but I'll reflect on that in a moment. Our war memorials, whether they're the grand ones here in Canberra or the much more humble ones dotted around our suburbs and our towns and our cities, are the most revered monuments in Australia. And in a country that is not as united as it once was, they are a point at which Australians can rally around, can agree upon, can commemorate. And you see that on Anzac Day. You see that on Remembrance Day. When in their millions Australians get up early, they go to their local war memorial, and together, regardless of their background, regardless of their race or their ethnicity or their religion or their politics, they solemnly pay tribute and commemorate the service and sacrifice of those who fought and died in war to defend our country and the wonderful liberal democracy that we enjoy today as a result. Whatever our views on foreign conflicts or other matters, we are able to unite as Australians on those solemn occasions at our war memorials to pay respect to them. And what we've seen over the weekend in Canberra and in other incidents prior to now is a fundamental desecration of those sacred venues, a fundamental disrespect for the service and sacrifice of the more than 100,000 Australians who served and died in war, and many more than that who served and sacrificed and came back home. And it is not too much, I expect, the elected representative of the people in this place to reflect the sentiments of our community in standing up for that. What is particularly egregious about this vandalism is the content of it. Let's be very clear and let's call this out directly. It was anti-Semitic. It was bad enough to vandalise a war memorial. It's even worse to put an anti-Semitic slogan on it. It's a slogan which the Prime Minister has said is a very violent statement which has no place in this country. It's a slogan which this Senate has voted overwhelmingly to condemn and say has no place in our country. And on behalf of the opposition, I offer the government all bipartisan support for any measures necessary to protect our war memorials, whether that is additional resources to make sure that they are not vandalisers, whether it is additional legislation to make sure very severe criminal penalties flow for these acts of criminal vandalism, because the Parliament of Australia and the Government of Australia needs to send a very clear signal that this conduct is unacceptable. In her remarks, Senator Lambie alluded to the way in which some people in this place have sought to profit from, politically, these foreign conflicts, sought to weaponise them for their partisan political advantage here in Australia. And recently, the Greens leader, Mr Bant, from the other place, was caught, recorded on a hot mic addressing his national conference. It was reported in the Daily Mail. And what he said at that conference, which has been reported, is extremely revealing about the Greens. He said, "I want you to think about what the narrative will be if we don't win these seats. Labor will say, we can get away with bombing Gaza," and goes on to talk about other matters. Now, that's a disgraceful thing that Adam Bant said, but very revealing in two respects. For the Greens, this is all about politics. For the Greens, it's about winning seats from the Labor Party in inner cities. And also, for the Greens, there's nothing they're less unwilling to say in the pursuit of that objective. They're even willing to accuse the Australian Labor Party of being involved in bombing Gaza. On what planet is the Australian Labor Party bombing Gaza? And yet Adam Bant is happy to weaponise this for political gain. And what we've just seen in this chamber from Senator Steele-John was a 15-minute apologia for vandalism of our most sacred places. Senator Steele-John, the War Memorial is not a blank canvas for your extreme politics. The War Memorial is something that deserves respect and reverence.
Senator Shoebridge, point of order.
The senator knows he's out of order. He has to address the chair. He's been disrespectful to the chair and disrespectful to the standing orders.
Senator Patterson, through me.
Thank you, Mr Deputy President. Through you, Senator Steele-John should know that the Australian War Memorial is not a blank canvas for the Greens' extreme politics. It is a place which we should all respect and we should all uphold. And it is extraordinary that any elected member of this place would come in here and defend the defacing and the desecration of these monuments, and he should be ashamed for that. All of the Greens should be ashamed for defending that. All of the Greens should go and see our veterans and our men and women in uniform and justify why this one place that should be beyond politics, this one place that should be sacred, this one place that shouldn't be sacred, that shouldn't be desecrated, is an appropriate place for them to broadcast their moral superiority, their self-satisfaction and their pride in weaponising these issues for political games. They should be ashamed. They have an opportunity to rectify this. They have an opportunity to make up for the appalling remarks that Senator Steele-John made before. They have an opportunity to vote with the rest of the Senate in favour of Senator Lambie's motion and stand up for the good values of this country.